because for me is the kernels in your teeth that get on my nerves.
Well, I knew it. Same here.
Kernels in my teeth get
Same
on
here.
my nerves.
Same
and
here.
it's just stress out me and my water pick. But I I was like, okay, let me try it. So tried it, and I was like, excuse me? We serious here?
Yeah, this is that thing.
And
yeah.
I just kept taking bites. I just kept taking more bites. I just kept taking more handfuls. And eventually, I was just like, well, you know what? You ain't getting back to back. Sorry.
Yeah, and I like, and this is what we've been talking about since the start of the pandemic in particular. Like, you know, people being creative, being innovative. You know, start small and build. Start small and build, guys. I mean, figure out what you do well. Figure out something that you do well. Figure out something that you're passionate about. And think about it until you figure out how to monetize it.
It's attainable. Do the usual, perfect your craft. And even when you think you perfected it, you can do more.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you got an idea, work on it. If it don't sound like something that could work, figure out why it doesn't work. Keep working at it. Something's gonna be born out of it.
Yeah.
Just like me and sleep. I didn't know I could sleep this much. I tried and I tried and I kept trying. And look at me now. I just sleep.
Yeah, just a professional sleeper.
Professional sleeper.
I actually had a friend who was a professional sleeper. What he would do is he would always find these sleep trials and just they'll pay him to sleep. So they'll give him like money or whatever, and he'll just go in and sleep. Sometimes they'll make him like watch different things before he go to bed. Sometimes they'll give him medication, like all kind of things. Like, he used to call himself a professional sleeper and gamer, because what he would also do when he couldn't find sleep trials, he was a beta tester for video games. And that was good money for him, cause they pay by the hour to just come in and play video games and find all the glitches. But I used to tell him, I said, you're a professional lab rat. That's what.
Yeah, basically. Well, I knew somebody who did one of those video game testers, and they used to make a lot of money to just come and play. And the thing is, too, what he said they would tell him is that they would tell him break the game.
Yeah.
Play the game as much as you can. Play it in the most unconventional ways. Break the game.
Mm-hmm.
Go in, with these open world games where you basically kind of go where you want to go.
Yep.
Go to every nook and cranny. Try to do things that shouldn't be possible to see if it happens. Break the game. And I'm just like, why I can't have this as a job?
Yeah.
Nobody wants. Okay, cool.
People don't understand the money in video games. Like video games, I think it's probably overtaking music. They're gonna overtake music at some point. Once they get to the point where the video games people get more into the immersive video games, where you could like 3D walk around and like feel like you're actually.
You mean the ones that we already there?
Yeah, but when they get to the point where people having them in their homes, like that's when everybody get like an Oculus, there's gonna be problems. I think this is like I knew this one guy, and unfortunately I must say I'm grateful to him, and it's unfortunate that I'm grateful to him because yeah. So I was living with a roommate in college, and our lease was about to be up.
Oh boy.
No, my belief was that we were going to renew the lease, and then like a week before we were to renew the lease, he was like, I'm not renewing the lease. So I'm like, okay, where am I gonna live? Where am I gonna live? So I went back to the school that evening, and I was telling somebody like, yo, bye, I don't know where I'm gonna stay in a week. And we were just like, okay, well, we'll ask around. We'll try and find out who who might be needing a roommate. We started looking at the classifieds and everything, and the school bulletin boards and all of that. And then one night I'm like at it was a school for show production and so like I'm at the live venue and talking to a teacher about the same thing, and he's like, you could stay with me, but there's this girl Lindsay or whatever who apparently she's going to need a roommate as well. So I was like, Lindsay? Like, I think I know who that is. I went and found her. And the story was that she was going to need a roommate because her past roommate was a video game major. The only problem,
playing all the time.
Yeah, the only problem was he wouldn't go to school to learn to actually make the video games. He was just busy playing World of Warcraft the whole time.
I mean,
and
I remember.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Keep going.
No, I'm saying because what she told me was it got to a point where he started losing track of the days. So he would be in his room for like 2.5 days, and like he wouldn't realize that a day had passed. So he will come out and think he has class, and she'll be like, "Where you going this Sunday?" Bro, it's Sunday. Like, what you doing? What you got in your school bag? And then he would just like curse himself, and then the school was just like, "Okay, you're missing too many classes." Yeah.
And they let him go.
Yeah, they let him go. Yeah. So thanks to him. Unfortunately, I'm grateful.
I remember when I lived on dorms in college, there was this guy that lived next to me, and of course, you know, American architecture is very display home-ish. Yeah. So you know, the walls are made out of like cardboard with paint.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you know, if you could hear me blinking in the next room. But he used to play World of Warcraft.
That game mess up a lot of people like that.
For those who don't know what that is, it's like one of those online games where you're playing with multiple people, and you know, it's like a battle.
Its own world. It's like its own world. Yeah.
Right. So you know, you're battling, and you're all like little tribes, groups, and you're battling other groups, and you're trying to like conquer the areas. And he played with headphones, so you couldn't hear the game. However, I think he needed headphones for himself, because you'd hear him screaming, you'd hear him shouting, you'd hear him yelling to his teammates, you'd hear him yelling because someone's getting attacked, and I'm just like, sir. So many times I used to go over there and knock and be like, I'm trying to study. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. He's like, I'll turn my volume down. I was like, it's like you're wearing headphones. It's not your volume, it's your volume.
Yeah, it's you, brother. Like, yeah.
It's you. I was like, I'm hearing you screaming and shouting. And
yeah, I would pass.
Eventually he started going somewhere else to play, and I was very happy for that. So now he became somebody else's problem.
I would pass people's homes and hear when they're yelling at like the teammates or they're cussing. Like I used to have a friend I used to go and watch him play. I've never played. Video games had never been a big thing for me. Like after like Super Mario and Duck Hunt, like I guess I didn't really have a video game console, so it wasn't a big thing for me until I got an N64, and then Mario Kart was the lick.
Welcome to life. Mario Kart is a timeless classic.
But I would pass on my way to school and whatever in the morning, and I would hear people like screaming in their homes, like at the video games. That's like
the only thing is I do play video games. I do play video games, but I play with headphones. And one thing I would admit is that sometimes when you're talking to like people, like headphones, because they're so noise cancelling that they cancel yourself too.
Yeah, so you end up talking extra loud.
So you sometimes talk extra loud, and I've been guilty of it. I've done it a few times, but like sometimes I always have to like check myself and like who you could talk softer, because the microphone is literally right by my mouth. I don't need to talk that loud anyway. So I mean, I could whisper and the person would hear me. So
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I just find it so incredible how the like 13-year-old white boys, they just get so disrespectful on them games.
Yeah, It's just,
Yeah,
which is why I don't play those, because it's just like every day you lose, you're gonna throw a tantrum and scream and okay, go outside.
Abuse your mother.
Being on the grass.
Abuse your mother. Tell them they're coming, come find you. I got your IP address. I'm coming.
My God, shut up.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Kevon, but you're sipping on your tea. I guess it's tea time.
My green time. My green. I just can't say green time because you said time at the same time. My green tea.
Yeah.
I love green tea.
Yeah, I love green tea too.
Green tea is my.
You still drinking matcha?
My guilty. Matcha with milk. I like matcha with milk. Regular matcha is okay, but matcha with milk.
Okay.
But before we even go further, I have another gear to grind.
Oh.
I know we want to do tea time, but I have a gear to grind, so we're gonna do this.
Grind it.
My gear to grind, because it's something that I just saw a while ago, a few minutes ago. My gear to grind is the media's knowing responsibility, the fact that they know the level of responsibility they have, and the intentional recklessness that they have with their power, just so they could get clicks. So, long story short, there is, so hold on, I'm trying to pull it up as a truck drives by. Trying to put it up quickly. So they've been intentionally, the media's, listen again, Vex. So the media does hold about, I would say about 80% of the blame for us being in the current state we are in the pandemic.
Right.
Because the way they provided information, it fuels lots of different arguments intentionally.
Yeah.
Which then gives them more things to report about.
And keeps people's eyes glued to them, which is really the only reason for it.
Yeah, the clickbait is ridiculous. So, a headline by Barbados Today simply says, and the photo, I want to give some context. The photo is a person in a body bag on a stretcher and being pushed by two people in yellow hazmat suits. So quite the apocalyptic picture.
Right. Like zombie
and
apocalypse.
The headline,
World War Z.
The headline says regional - two vaccinated people die in St. Lucia.
What? Wow. Yeah. So that's obvious. That's obvious clickbait. One. And like you say, it's fueling a certain narrative.
Because now, me ain't gonna read that. I gonna just say, see, vaccine killing people.
Yep. That's a big thing. If the clickbait been crazy, and on top, who knows if that's even the picture? Because that's one thing I've been realizing too. Like they've been taking pictures.
It's
from
not the picture. They've been taking pictures from other things and using them. I saw a video. Somebody sent me a video of one of those YouTubers talking about like countries, and they used the top of Port Street, Victoria. If you like Victoria Road, like standing by like Amri Bakery, looking down to Port Street.
Yeah.
Like, you know, on the other side by the Anglican Church wall, there was a picture taken from there looking down to Port Street, and it was used for Zimbabwe. I think.
Oh,
it was used for it was either, I don't remember where it was.
But some African country.
Some random country that has nothing to do with the Caribbean.
So it was not Port Street
to represent. It was Port Street, but they called it a different country.
A lot of that going on. And you see, part of the issue is too that, and this is something I've been thinking about lately. like I have this kind of thing. Like if I'm reading something and something about it just rubbing me kind of weird or making me feel weird, I go and like open another page and Google it.
I just search things.
As much as access. No, bear in mind this was not as access like that. That wasn't possible 10 years ago, 15 years ago, right? At least not with the ease that it is now. And people refuse to do it. People refuse to fact check anything, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows. And then the thing is, even if somebody does fact check, the news cycle moves so quickly. People don't care about retractions. People don't care about whatever. The damage is done. Just bring out another 10 articles. So just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. And again, I think what's happening is the goal for a lot of people, a lot of these media houses is eyeballs. How much eyeballs can we get?
How many clicks can we get? How many people can we get?
And how long we could keep them here?
And then how many things do they click after they click this one?
Right.
Where do they venture to?
Yeah, you're just keeping them in the ecosystem. Let's keep them in the ecosystem. Keep them right here. That's all. In the radio world,
ridiculous.
In the radio world, there's something called TSL. It's a metric, and TSL stands for time spent listening, and that's how broadcasters figure out their value, figure out how much to charge, how much to charge advertisers, like all this thing. Like at the end of the day, all these media, they compete, and like people like to say like, oh, the music, competing against other music, and no, everything is competing against everything, because right now is about the main commodity is time and attention.
Yep.
So yes, the musicians are competing with YouTube, and they're competing with Netflix, and the movies are competing with not just like Netflix just competing with Disney Plus, Netflix competing with Spotify, they're competing with the podcasters,
everything.
But not only that, the church is competing with Netflix and Spotify and Apple Music. The schools competing with, like, everybody competing with the same thing. So because the competition is so intense, people are doing anything to try and gain some kind of advantage. Anything. And so and I don't think people recognize that's what's going on. Like, everybody sees you as a commodity, and so they're treating you as such. They're treating you as such. So yeah, you gotta be so careful. You gotta be so careful.
And my thing is too, I just want people to also like be responsible. Media houses can be quite irresponsible at times. So you be a little bit more responsible and don't just view the headline, because headlines are meant to grab your attention by any means necessary.
And English is a funny.
Doesn't mean that the headline doesn't necessarily always reflect the content. It just has to grab your attention to get you to read, not even to get you to read it. It just has to grab your attention.
Yep.
If you see a headline that draws you in, that means you should definitely read it. Because the ones that really pull you in are the ones that really need to be read.
Yeah.
And to see why.
Exactly what the actual story is.
Right, because usually the ones that are pretty honest, they don't pull you in the way that the dishonest ones do. Because if this article said what it should be saying, that two persons died from other complications that weren't COVID related, we wouldn't get clicks and views, and it wouldn't grab your attention like that. But the way they phrased this, it was intentional to get your attention, to spread a false narrative. So if something grabs your attention, some headline grabs your attention, read it. That, my friends, is my final pet peeve for the day.
Yeah. And Kevon, that is why I'm consuming news media less and less and less and less. What I find myself consuming now is like, because the media house is moving like that, they're opening up spaces where people want even subjective, but at least I know it's subjective. So I know what your position is and whatever, like, no matter. Once I know, then I could filter the information myself as it comes, right? So that's why it's opening up all these like talk show spaces, all these spaces for podcasts. Like that's what I be watching now. I just be watching podcasts. I watch Al Jazeera.
What I do.
I watch Al Jazeera and Reuters online. That's pretty much my news sources, and WINNmedia, and then podcasts.
I usually like to do NPR.
Yeah, I like NPR too.
I usually tell, like I have HomePods. I have a HomePod, so I just usually tell Siri to play. Give me my daily update or HomePod, play NPR, and it gives me a sense of what's happening as I get ready to go about doing whatever I do. So it's just like passive listening, and it's good to hear. I think also when you choose to go to polarized places, you're gonna get polarized information.
Yeah, but people like things that reinforce their biases. That's kind of
so that's also expected. But if you want to hear bad news, you'll go to a place that gives you bad news all the time.
Yeah.
If you want to hear a place that gives you good news, you'll find it.
Yeah.
But
we have a caller, Kevon. Let's see if this person is still here. Good morning, caller, live on Island T. What's up?
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
A little observation. You guys talking about some very interesting stuff, as usual. But I have a little issue, almost a gear to grind. But what happened to your programming between, I think it's Monday and Wednesday? There seemed to be something off. And I'm surprised at how it was dealt with, because I'm sure people were calling into the show when you played the repeat, not knowing that it was a rebroadcast. And, from the management point of view, you got to ask the question. You don't think people listening? You were talking about the competition and so on. That's all it is. Competition and ratings. And when you have a situation whereby you don't know if a program is live or it's pre-recorded or there's no explanation, I find it's doing a disservice. This is a critique. And since people listening, you better believe the sponsors are listening too. And quite frankly, I'm surprised that they're not lining up for your show, because I think you have a wide listenership, and you just have to be consistent with when it's on and the host. I know things are going on, but an explanation is owed to either the sponsors or the general listenership. It was probably given, but at the point in time, it seemed as if the show is sliding. And I wouldn't like that to happen. I think it's full of content, and you should try and just maintain the standard that was created. That is my 2 pence today. Thanks.
All right, Carl, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see, like, how the present media landscape, I want to say media, like, let me talk specifically to, like, journalism. Like, how the journalistic landscape is going to change. I think that people are going to more and more move away from the big media, the big news houses, and find more and more. I think it could go one or two ways. They could go to more and more biased sort of outlets that just make them very comfortable and reinforce the biases and prejudices and all of that. That could be one way. Or people would move to more objective, more, I don't even want to say reliable, right? But they would find the news that really and truly craving for. Because people just want to know what's going on. You know when things got crazy for me? Things got crazy for me when I started watching the news and everything had like the talking heads. You know, like the 6 people and everybody just like the pundits.
Right.
That's when it got crazy for me. The funny thing is that that's exactly what I'm consuming now. Punditry. But for some reason, like when I watch CNN and it's like 8 people talking, and you know they all paid to be there, and they all paid because of their specific biases. It just come off weird. It come off weird to me, like watching it. So I kind of shy away from that. That and the fact that, like CNN, which of course was one of the more popular news outlets for years and years and years, Time Warner, they just started showing a bunch of like weather updates on golf. So, and yeah, somebody had called in and explained to us why they golf there all the time, and I still don't understand why you gotta be golf. Like that part's supposed to be where the local stations put in their own like advertising and stuff like that. But why you gotta be golf? Yeah, but why you gotta be golf? And it's nothing against golf, but it's like there's other things. Oh boy. But yeah, guys, you really got to protect what you're ingesting. You really got to protect what you're ingesting. And one of the things that I heard recently that really encapsulated my feelings towards like the news media, there's 2 things. One was that the speaker mentioned that he looks at news now like junk food. It's like junk food. Like, you know, you kind of take it now and again, but it's like, you know, you can't eat it all the time. No, you can't. You just got to like, yeah, you can't like
indulge.
Yeah, you could have a chip. You could have like a potato chip now and again, but if you were to eat potato chips 24/7, then
you become a potato.
Yeah, pretty much, or something very close to it. The other one was recognizing that it's processed. It's like, what happens if you consume processed food exclusively? It's like that's what happens if you that's what happens to your mind if you consume processed information constantly. Right? So it's like processed information. Yeah, you could have some of it now and again, but you have to be aware that this is what it is and operate accordingly to protect your mind. So I think those 2 things were a good way of putting my feelings toward like a lot of these media houses now and these news houses, like, yeah, insane. Even some of the so-called local ones, like, no. All
right,
yeah,
so
let's move on.
No, not doing it. We will not give them the light. Not my breath today. I inhaled and exhaled so much air last night in my sleep to go get exhausted on this. No, but hey. But we'll now take a very, very short break, and we will come back with more Island Tea on WINNMedia SKN. We will be right back.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Be a hero. September is the month of heroes in St. Kitts and Nevis. And for the months of September to October, Hosford's Automotive wants you to be a hero too. Yes! Drive like a hero at the massive Hosford's Automotive Be a Hero sales event. Go to Hosford's Automotive today and drive away like a hero with up to $35,000 discount on select models. Your choice of either free gas for 3 months or up to $1,000 in free groceries. Pay just 10% VAT. Yo, just 10% VAT. Free servicing for 1 year. Free bill of sale. Free registration, licensing, and tinting. 0 down payment. That's right. Absolutely 0 down payment. And much, much more. Drive away like a hero from Hosford's Be a Hero sales event. The biggest, most heroic sales event ever in the Federation. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
If you own or work with animals, please follow these tips to avoid getting the coronavirus. Please keep pets away from areas where you are preparing food and eating your meals. Thoroughly wash your hands after handling animals and animal waste. Avoid contact with sick or stray animals. And always remember to wear protective gowns, gloves, and facial protection when handling them. As the novel coronavirus spreads, it is important that you continually disinfect your home. Viruses can gather on surfaces such as doorknobs, computer keyboards and mouse, cell phones, tablets, railings, kitchen and bathroom countertops, and remote control devices. To avoid transfer of viruses, wipe down these surfaces regularly with disinfectants such as Clorox, Lysol wipes, or soap and water. Avoid touching your face or your loved one's faces after touching any of these types of surfaces. It is very easy for viruses to be transferred in this way. When preparing food, be sure to use different knives and cutting boards for raw meat and cooked foods. Wash your hands before and after handling raw meats. Also, wash your hands before and after using cooked food. Be sure to cook food thoroughly before eating it. This is a message from the Ministry of Health and the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA.
Welcome back to Island Tea right here on WINNMedia SKN with Kevon and Azem. Sans Jade, Gwennigan Johnson today. Anybody knows if there's been a situation report? A COVID situation report? I don't think I saw one last night. Or this morning for that matter. Usually I get it in like 6 or 7 chats. But I don't think I got one last night. So I think that's an indication that there was not one sent out. I don't know what the reason for that is. Not that I mind, because to be honest, I'm kind of wondering when we're going to ease up on them. I keep saying it. But I do recognize there's some people asking for more and more information, for more detailed information as it relates to the COVID-19 status. Some people want to know how many people vaccinated, in other words, how many breakthrough cases. I think that's what they're referring to them as now. How many breakthrough cases and stuff like that. But I'm just looking at the evolution. At this point, I don't even have the answers. So I'm just looking at the evolution. But somebody let me know, has there been a statement as it relates to the situation report? Or it just has not come out as yet. But in the meantime, it's tea time. Okay, but when you need him, bye. Anyway, with some cricket news, I know a lot of... You know what? I wonder how many people falling off the Patriot train. Patriots were winning consistently the first set of games, and a lot of people, that's all you could hear them talk about. And then, you know, the last I think it was 2 games. I think it's 2 games so far. Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. But and then some of those people just gone quiet. But no, man, keep the faith, hold the faith, man. We're gonna be doing good. But one of the interesting stories of the entire tournament has been the Jamaica Tallawahs. And the Jamaica Tallawahs kept their hopes of advancing to the knockout stage of the 2021 Caribbean Premier League alive with a 22-run over, yes, St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. Lord, somebody's messaged me since Gail went back on the field. That they the people cannot. Hey, Gail can't catch a break, man. Okay, pause on the actual article for a second. The word that Gail was getting, right? During that near loss, not the loss. The one when he scored, it was 42 or 43 runs. Right? Me and all that feel sorry for the man. Me and all that feel sorry for the man because it's a load of what he get. When I say a load of what he get, yeah, Kevon.
I mean, the question is, did he deserve it?
I guess it's how you look at it, you know, because some people have the fact that, like, if he didn't score the 43, he wouldn't have win. Some people also have the fact that we won in spite of him not running the wickets properly and all of that. But why people say Gail is the bad luck? Why? But anyway, back to the article. The Tallawahs was sent into bat, posted 169 for 8 from the allotted 20 overs, thanks to some power hitting from Captain Rovman Powell and Andre Russell. Chasing 170 for victory, the Patriots were restricted to 148 for 8. It was the Patriots' 3rd defeat in a row. Oh, so it's 3 defeats now, after they had started the tournament with 5 successive wins.
Yeah, I think that's also what got people upset, because we had started off doing so well, and I was just like, what y'all doing?
Okay, so for those on the live, yeah, I know y'all getting the spinning pinwheel of death in obvious fashion. I'm trying to fix it without actually.
Yeah, I'm watching it now, and it's just like a little exorcism flashing happening.
Yeah, I've been trying to find a way to fix it without actually having to, like, stop the live. So yeah, but anyway,
Oh yeah, now he's doing a disco thing.
He's doing a disco thing now. Yeah. Anyway, just let me play some disco background music and make it a thing. But guys, the Patriots were unable to accelerate and chase the total as the Talawas bowlers, Imad Wazim and Veersamy Permal and Miguel Pretorius helped produce a disciplined bowling performance which earned the franchise their third win. Jamaica got off to a steady start. Openers Kenna Lewis and youngster Kirk McKenzie batting through the first 5 overs before Lewis was caught out. And still, let me see if this works a bit better. Nope, same thing.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Yeah, the disco's still happening.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at the disco, we're leaving it up so you can hear us, but just like not look at it because it's gonna like stress you out. So, yeah, we're trying to fix it without having to end the live.
You're right,
to fix
exactly.
it.
So, yeah, but guys, I mean, I think that sometimes this is the time to lose, eh? It's better to lose now in the first round as opposed to in the later rounds or even in the finals. I'm hoping that these losses help us to recognize exactly where the shortcomings are, so we could fix them before we get to a point where a loss would mean expulsion from the tournament, right? So I'm still very much hopeful about the Patriots' chances, but we just gotta wait and see. But we have somebody trying to get in on the phone line. Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up? Nope. Lost that one.
Lost the caller.
Somebody trying to get back in as well. Hold on. Caller, good morning. You're live on LNT.
Good morning. Talk Puppy on the line.
Talk Puppy. Morning.
Morning.
First again, I would like to say for the whole world to hear, thanks to Gayle for the great performances over the years for West Indies cricket. But his time has come to an end. He has failed to see it. That's okay. Brian Lara stepped out of cricket on a high. Vivian Richards asked the West Indies selectors to give him a last chance to go to a World Cup. He was the best batsman in the world and they refused him. I'm still wondering why Gayle is playing for St. Kitts Nevis. And I could tell you this. I would like St. Kitts Nevis to lose the other 2 games once Gayle is playing. You said something very significant a while ago. It's better to lose now. But one of the big thing about CPL is when you win in, keep winning, because the team that end up with the best average and points go straight to the final. You don't have to play semi-final.
Right.
I want to know why the St. Kitts Nevis team management don't know about that. Let me give you a quick scenario so somebody else can get a chance. We need 11 point something runs per over to win Jamaica. Bapara from England, he cannot get the ball off the square. He can't even get singles and twos. But we need nearly 12 runs over, but the Gayle sent in his friend Bapara from England. Instead of sending in a power-hitting man by the name of Green.
Right.
Allen can hit the ball anywhere. Gayle sent in Bapara to bat, who bat 17 balls for 8 runs and sent up the average close to 14, 15 runs per over. Then he sent in Green. It just doesn't make no sense. And let me ask them something on your radio station. They gave the youngster from Nevis 1 game. He failed. But he's young. Instead of playing Bapara all the time from England and failing, give the young man out to Nevis another game or another young man. We got to start thinking about young people in West Indies cricket and forget Gayle them, not forget what they did or would have done. But they're not doing well now, and the reason why St. Kitts and Nevis losing is Gayle and Bapara. Have a good day. And again, I want to tell you all, this program is relevant in St. Kitts Nevis. So how you keep it up? Even though you ugly, I like how your program.
Talk puppy to the world, boy.
What?
Oh man. Hey,
am I missing something? Because
oh man, I love it. But the caller makes some good points, and we actually spoke to what's his name? I'm upset. I forget his name. Kezi. We call him Kezi. Got a nickname from Nevis. And you know, would really like to see him play a bit more, but yeah, that's just not the case right now. But we have another caller, Kevon. Caller, good morning, live on LNT. What's up?
Yeah, man. Good morning. How are you?
We're doing good.
Yeah, man. That caller there, man. He made some great sense about that cricket. Yeah, man. It's time for those oldsters to retire from the game, man. They, you know, I mean, I don't know the players like that. I know, but I sure know that guy named Gale, though. I know him for sure. He's having a problem with the short pitch balls. When the bowlers bowl the ball short, he's having a problem dealing with the short, balls. And he's not even playing the short balls well. There was a guy from St. Kitts that just breached the bubble. To me, that guy should have given a chance. They should have never been that St. Kitts is the host country. That St. Kitts guy who just breached the bubble, they should have not penalized him for the whole tournament. They should have probably penalized him like one or two games at the most. That guy probably deserved a chance. It's funny just to be sitting there watching, the Patriots losing games now when they start up with such a great momentum. If they don't get another momentum swing, they're not going to make it, bro. They're not going to make it. Me, originally, I thought that the showdown would have been between the Patriots and the Jamaican Talawas. But to see that the Talawas came back and beating the Patriots like this, it's over for the Patriots, man. I'm not going to give them no dap right now, bro. Because they got Gale in the team, and they keep losing, and they're not making no adjustment. That's my contribution for now, man. But anyway, the local guys, they have some youngsters from Nevis as well that just made the under-19 squad. Between the guy from St. Kitts and those guys from Nevis, they should have been given a chance to play in this tournament to give these guys some type of encouragement, man. The game is getting younger. It's not getting older. That's my contribution, man. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, we'd hope that these types of tournaments turn into real proving grounds and opportunities to showcase young talent. We would hope that that's the case. But don't give up on the Patriots yet, man. I think
they might bounce back,
But they're still at the top of the table. I think, right? I haven't seen the last score table, but I know based on what Talk Puppy said, a lot of people are really hoping they don't lose any more games, and that would allow them to qualify in the top spot. So that is the hope. That is the hope for a lot of people. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm just kind of waiting to see. And at the same time, I just go out and watch good cricket. Go out watch good cricket. Turn on your TV, watch some good cricket. It's good that something is happening, and yeah, it's something to do. I know a lot of people who have been going to the games and they seem to be enjoying themselves. People who even generally don't go anywhere. It's just something to do, and it's a different atmosphere. And that's one of the things that I keep saying about events and experiences and things to do. We really need to find ways to diversify the offerings, to appeal to more people, right? And I think this shows that there are people who, if given options, would engage in different types of activities. So hopefully this proves the point that we need to really try and diversify the offerings. Hopefully more things could actually happen in the not too distant future. So yeah. But what's going on in the world, Kevon?
Life. Life. Let's talk some local news about. Go ahead. So the Labour Party supports vaccination but condemns termination of employees who refuse the vaccine. This is a Jade pick. So the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party is strongly condemning the action taken by employers in St. Kitts and Nevis who have terminated employees for refusing to take the vaccine. In a statement on Sunday, the opposition leader and former Prime Minister Dr. Denzel Douglas said Labour remains staunchly opposed to forcing people to take the vaccine, and it condemns in the strongest language possible the actions of those employers who have terminated employees for refusing to take the vaccine. While condemning and disapproving forced vaccination, Dr. Douglas took the position that vaccination remains a very important tool in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic, but so too does the non-pharmaceutical measures such as wearing masks, physical distancing, repeatedly washing your hands, and sanitizing. He encouraged citizens and residents to adhere to these established guidelines and to take every opportunity to make available to them to take the vaccine as an added layer of protection against this dreadful virus. The Labour Party supports and encourages the taking of vaccines. We have to respect the right of every citizen and resident of this federation to decide for themselves whether or not they become vaccinated. A statement by the doctor himself, Denzel Douglas.
Big up Dougie one time.
And 9-1.
But yeah, I think that's the position of a lot of people, eh? I'm gonna tell you something, like even vaccinated people. No, but like people ain't running around wanting to see people lose their jobs, bro. So, like people on general consensus, people don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I don't like the mandatory vaccination stance at all, right?
Yeah, and I think truthfully, I do think that the mandatory vaccination, what do we call it, rule? A rule? It for me personally, I think it does more disservice because I think it actually makes people less likely to be interested in taking the vaccine because now it feels forced. So it's like, we're not forcing you to take. No, we're not forcing you to take the vaccine, but you just can't take the. You got to take it to work here. So it's just like, are you forcing me or are you like you're not forcing me or are you? Which one?
Okay, so this is the thing too, and this is a discussion I was having with somebody last week. Do you believe that
in magic?
Do you? But through our conversation, we kind of ended up in this place where we're like, so I wonder if the rhetoric behind the so-called encouragement to take the vaccine was not as what's the word? Let's just say that it wasn't as strong. Do you believe more people would be willing to take it? Do you believe, okay, let me say this. Do you believe that the aggressiveness with which the message is put forward turns some people off from the vaccine in the first place?
Yes. It's plain and simple, yes. Because I think what happened, and I think it could just be a little error along the way, is that we were all in such a rush for this thing to come to an end that we were like, let's do this quick, just, like emergency mode. Like, house on fire. Grab things.
So fear-based. It was fear-based.
Yeah, so everybody's just like, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. Oh, vaccine, take it quick, take it now. And I think the urgency of things made it feel rushed and forced. And I think that's where we started going wrong. Yes, it's an urgent thing because we're currently in a pandemic, but the urgency then turned into into a sort of, I'm gonna use this term just because I feel like that's where my mind goes when it comes to it, like an accidental forcing, and accidental forced air about the whole situation.
Okay,
I don't think they wanted to force people or anything, but I feel like because of the urgency of things, they had to kind of get people to do this fast. And of course, trying to get anybody to do things fast it automatically feels forced.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different angles to come at this, right?
Right.
There's a lot of different angles to come at this. Now, my thing is, initially, the conversation was trying to get to herd immunity. So because of that mindset, I think that is why the conversation, like that is why the rhetoric sounded the way it sounded. Now, based on the fact that the virus has mutated, based on the fact that there was people who are hesitant, based on the fact that we just didn't get to that point early in the game, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe that if the vaccine came out and they were just like, hey guys, there's this option, we're encouraging you to take it, but remember, the most important thing is to socially distance, wear a mask, wash your hands, etc., etc., etc. Do you believe we would have had more people going and taking the vaccine?
Yeah,
so
I think so.
Okay. So instead of selling it as the one and only hope for humanity, selling it as an
tool.
a tool and an option in trying to protect life. You think that might have gone over better with some of the people who are now hesitant?
Possibly.
Yeah, it's
I
possible.
think too.
Possible.
Like I said, it's the urgency always feels forced, because even at work, non-COVID related, somebody come, Kevon, can I get these reports now? I feel forced. I feel rushed.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's a turn off.
I'm instantly like, I have a lot of things to do. Like, now I feel forced and rushed, and with anything. Anybody come in the house and tell you, put on your shoes quick, let's go. You feel forced. You feel rushed. So I think that's what happened with the whole vaccine situation, and some people took advantage of it. Some people,
I just always wonder. Okay, you know what I find interesting? When we talk about things like all of society approaches, right? And you look at the way things are handled and you wonder how much of society was included in this approach.
all for them.
Cause and they said even something like local here. I think this is like worldwide. Cause
it's global.
It's global.
So always an all of society approach, and society don't get a say.
But not even just society. Like, I believe, for instance, when we talk about this, we talk about this with all sorts of things. When they go to discuss things at the CARICOM level, it just seems to be a whole bunch of economists. They're not really psychologists. When they're discussing responses to the pandemic, there's a bunch of economists there and perhaps one or two health officials who just come in to give us but really and truly, it's a bunch of economists and maybe a lawyer or two. Like, even in terms of putting together the strategy to promote the vaccine, I wonder if they consulted behavioral scientists of any sort, whether it's psychologists, persons who understand this, sociologists. I wonder if those people get consulted in these approaches. Because sometimes I feel like no. I feel like no a lot of times, but yeah, we're at the point, like I say, I just kind of looking to see exactly what happens. But I think it was a good move. I think it's a good move on the part of the Labour Party and leader of the Labour Party to make his stance clear. I think I didn't see the entire statement. I don't know if it was a press conference or anything like that. Do you know if it was a press conference or anything like that?
No clue.
Well,
to be completely honest.
Yeah, I don't know where the statements were made or how they were made, so I don't know if there were any suggestions to employers as to how to best go about protecting their interest. Because the truth is, as much as I don't like the mandatory, I understand why they're making those decisions.
Yes, I
understand why they're making the decisions. I don't like it, but I don't know. But yeah. But we have somebody on the line. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T. What's up? Okay, I think we lost a caller.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, I think it's important that we also, and that's what I'm saying, that's why we have to kind of talk to each other with mutual respect.
Society approach?
Yeah, you think? Yeah, why we have to kind of talk to each other and have each of us kind of with respect and love and understanding that we kind of are trying to look out for the best interests of each other, figure out, the positions. For instance, maybe it's an issue where the businesses that are telling you, like, I need vaccinated people because if anybody is to get tested, even if they're negative, if you're not vaccinated, I'll lose it for 2 weeks, right? So I can't have my business closed down for 2 weeks. I mean, we're not even in a lockdown, but just because you're not vaccinated, you're now unavailable to me. So perhaps even changing those types of and that's something that, again, that's not the employer putting that in place. That is the health officials. So is that something that's necessary? Can we get that to a week? If after the week you're tested again and you're still negative, are you allowed to go back out to work? So some of these things might need to change.
So there's options.
Yeah. So perhaps the employers themselves don't feel the same amount of pressure, because I don't think it's just the employers putting the pressure on the employees, but I think also they're feeling pressure based on the stipulations, protocols and stuff put in place by the health officials. But we have a call on the line. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Good morning.
Morning.
Can I comment on your earlier media discussion?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think most people formulate their opinions based on their environment and their upbringing and values and their worldview and general philosophy on life. And as such, you would expect a diversity in opinions and viewpoints. And generally, while I agree that people gravitate to media that espouses their personal biases, the converse can be true, where because that media is so predictable, people will not waste valuable time listening to them because they know what they're going to be saying. They would prefer media, I think, that challenges and debate views and opinions that are contrary to what they hold. Only people want to hear one point of view or one side of an argument. I would venture to say that most people want intellectual stimulation more than anything else. That's why the most popular programs are those which are unpredictable, controversial even, right? The programs that have a host just giving his or her point of view doesn't invite input from listeners. It will attract a fierce following of listeners and followers, but they would be in the minority. They may be loud and aggressive, but they would be in the minority nevertheless. And because most media, these days at least, is infused with punditry, people have to be more analytical and discerning themselves. Some media houses feel they have done their job if they present all sides of an argument, when in fact they've only done their job when they have presented the truth based on evidence, not emotion. And that's very important because generally speaking, media is influential and shape opinions. And it's very important that those opinions are derived from facts and truth. Unfortunately, very often presenting the truth upsets the powers that be, or the ones who advertise or write the checks, which after all is what keeps the media in business. You can bet, for instance, that those weather and golf slots are paid for on CNN, right? They are monotonous, but they remain there for a reason. The bottom line is not just about money, but credibility. If the media house is monolithic and biased towards one view, I think it will lose credibility, right? If it's just there to accommodate one point of view, right? And it will become just monotonous and lose its reputation as a credible source. So if the media wants to keep its role as the fourth estate, which keeps the other power branches in society in check, it can't be seen to be pandering to those power brokers. And in the final analysis, as I think it was an American, I don't know if it's president or philosopher, but basically he said, if the press is free and men can read, and I would add, and men can reason, then all will be well. And I think that's the bottom line here. Okay, with all the various sources and opinions expressed, generally it comes down to the consumers who must look at these and decide for themselves. Okay then.
All right, Carla, thanks. Even though I understand what you're saying, I think we've gotten to the point where the news almost comes off like a parody of itself. And it's not necessarily there about the credibility issue. We've seen it so much that
because it's about being credible.
It's almost like it's about entertainment at this point.
It's like now it's just more like a talent show, a comedy show.
Yeah.
You know, your act was great. But let me see if I could out act you.
Yeah.
And then you out act me, so now it's my turn to outdo you. So Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the thing about it is we can tell that from look at the personalities involved in the news media. Look at the anchors. Look at the people who are given specials and paid big millions of dollars, right? But Kevon, we have our guest here in the studio, so we're gonna take a short break. For those of you listening online, we're actually gonna restart the live now, so you could see something other than the disco lights. So look forward to the stream coming back up, and when we come back, we're gonna be here speaking to a representative from SKNYPA about their anniversary that's coming up. So stay tuned, stay locked right here to WINNMedia SKN. We'll be right back, guys.